Assalamu alaikum sisters, and welcome back to Women's AM. I'm your host Ayan, and with me today are my lovely sisters Zainab, Nazia, and our special guest today, Sister Sayyida Zaidi. So we're on to our next segment now, the other half. And on today's last segment, we take a look at a dilemma faced by a sister as it's time for the other half. This is what our sister has to say. My in-laws are cultural people and have expectations on me which are not fard. I want to spend more time gaining knowledge and doing da'wah, but their demands leaves me little time. I don't want to cause trouble with them, but I want to further myself for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and my children. What should I do? So, alhamdulillah, the panelists are all married sisters, so you all probably have some great advice to give. So, Sister Sayyida, what would you say to the sister?
This is a really kind of interesting dilemma because I know many people face it. And the first thing that I would say is that I'm reminded of the story of the Sahaba who wanted to go for jihad. And the Prophet Muhammad said to him, you know, what's your responsibilities? And he said, oh, I have a mother. And the Prophet said to him, actually go and look after your mother at home because that is a greater jihad for you. So with that kind of in mind, it's just thinking about, you know, yes, we all want to study, we want to increase our knowledge, but our responsibilities are also kind of set out for us. And I'm not saying that you don't do anything, but just think of the baraqa that you're getting by serving your parents. And if you're also serving your parents-in-law, then you're getting a huge amount of baraqa as well, because you're doing so many different things. You're helping out your husband, you're helping out his parents, so in turn you're kind of taking a responsibility away from him, and you're showing your children how important it is to kind of provide a safe and secure and happy environment for your parents as well. That said, what I would kind of encourage you to do is set yourself small targets. So kind of think, how much time can you free up in the day? Even if it's 10 minutes, I'm telling you, there's so much you can achieve in 10, 15 minutes a day. So don't kind of think, you know, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to become a hafiz in 2 years, if that's not achievable in your life. You know, small targets, inshallah.
Nazia, what do you have to add to that?
No, I completely agree with what you're saying. I think it's a difficult one, this one, because I think people sometimes look at things, yeah, there are, you know, this is not fair, this is, you know, this is not the mentality to sort of approach this with. You know, at the end of the day, this is a good action. This is a good action. And sometimes, you know, you have to, part of being tested is to take things on more than is required of you. And this is a good thing. You know, you are, as you said, you're helping your husband in this situation. And it's something that, you know, it can also be a collaborative effort put into this. You know, if there's certain things you want to do, maybe sit down and speak with your in-laws and say, that, look, this is really important to me. If I did this with you, can you then let me go and do this? You know, it's a two-way process as well. And it's something that I don't think, you know, the key to it is when you sit down and have a conversation. And if in the end, if nothing is achieved from that, you still have to understand that you get reward for this. It's not something that will not be recognized. There's a lot of merit in what you are doing. And as you said, again, it comes back to the whole timetable issue. There are other ways around gaining knowledge. You know, mashallah, you don't necessarily have to, you know, we've got access to books, computers, you know, there are a lot of talks online now. There are many ways by which you can reach out and get knowledge. So I don't think we should pocket ourselves into a certain situation. I think we should look at it, we've got all these avenues to getting a reward, how can we do it? And not look at it from the point of view, you know, when things are there in terms of fard and haram, my understanding of it is in terms of, look, as long as there's no oppression going on, or things like that, or rights being taken away. But there are things that we can do in terms of going beyond the call of duty and getting reward for that. And I think we should encourage ourselves to do not just the basic, but do beyond that. We should be encouraging on all levels to go out and do more.
Yeah, and I think to myself is that the fact that even though your in-laws are not necessarily your parents, but they do become your parents, and show them as much respect as you would your own, and also just include them as well in, you know, whatever you're doing. So if you're looking to recite the Quran more or to do some hifd, include them in that, because they probably might want to do those things as well. So cultivate like this loving feeling around, you know, bettering yourselves in terms of the deen. Zainab, what would you like to say to the sister?
I definitely agree with everything that the sisters were saying. at the end of the day, I think it's important to view marriage in the correct way, and sometimes we kind of see it as his role, my role, and that's just nonsense. You know, at the end of the day, the relationships that we see with the Prophet ﷺ, with between him and Khadija radiallahu anha, you know, they're a team. This is how this issue of tranquility is about helping each other out and not being so rigid in these kind of roles. And just as I would want my parents to be looked after well by whoever's living with them, I think I should do the same as well. You know, try my best, try my hardest, and that's it. It's about helping, you know, helping your husband do whatever. You know, if your husband's out doing dawah, you know, he's trying to do extra and trying to kind of push his level of reward. And I think it's good for the wife to try to help. But at the same time, there's another issue here about harams and haram actions and falling into that kind of trap. And that's something we can never allow ourselves to fall into, no matter what. But then when it comes to this issue of seeking knowledge and things like that, there is this, like the sister was saying, you can be quite organised and clever and, you know, about how you try to seek that kind of knowledge. But the only other thing I'd add is sometimes it depends on your relationship with your in-laws. If it's very good, then you can go to them directly and have a nice conversation, respectful conversation. If it's a bit difficult, then I think things should be dealt with by the husband. If your husband's on board, you know, he's the one basically to convince. Once he's convinced or he's on board with this idea that, you know, I actually like the idea of my wife getting rewarded and then being rewarded for my wife getting reward as well, you know, that whole idea, then he can kind of coax them into it and kind of make life a bit easier for you. There are many ways around this issue.
Yeah, so mashallah, it's about having that communication, isn't it, inshallah, and being patient. So jazakallah khair, sisters, for those tips. Well, unfortunately, that's all we have time for today. But before we go to a quick reminder of our competition this week, we are giving away some fantastic prizes: booklets of stickers, my Salah and Wudu colouring book, my A to Z colouring book of Islam, and my Juz Amma tree chart by Muslim Stickers. So for all the mothers out there, here's a great opportunity to get the kids motivated in a very creative way. All you have to do is answer the following question: which name of Allah means the Creator? A. Al-Khaliq, B. Al-Razaq, C. Al-Alim. To enter, email your answer A, B or C to womensam@islamchannel.tv along with your name and address and what you most like about Women's AM. The deadline for entries is Friday 31st of January at 4 p.m. All applicants need to be over 18 and residing in the UK. Please note, only one entry per person per household. A winner will be randomly selected from correct entries and the winner's name will be announced on Monday's show. So get entering. Jazakallah khair to everyone on the panel, in particular to you sisters at home watching. We are back tomorrow with another interesting discussion on role models, so do tune into that. Until then, keep striving to be the best that you can be for the sake of Allah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.